If your cat chirps or chatters at birds, do you actually know what they are trying to say? Yes, it sounds adorable, almost like they are talking to the window or getting excited over what they see outside. But behind that strange little sound there is something deeper that most people miss. It is one of the most emotionally loaded instincts your cat still carries inside them. And if you ignore it, which most owners do, you might be misunderstanding one of the clearest ways your cat reveals what they feel, what they need, and how deeply they trust you. Let's start with what that chirping really means. Most people think cat chattering is just frustration. Like your cat sees a bird, cannot reach it, and makes weird noises because they are annoyed. But here is what is actually happening. That sound is tied directly to your cat's hunting system. Behavioral scientists who study feline communication have observed that chirping often appears when a cat enters an intense state of focus, excitement, and anticipation. Their eyes lock in. Their body stiffens. Their tail twitches. And then the sound starts. It is not random noise. It is your cat's nervous system activating an ancient sequence that once prepared wild cats to stalk and capture prey. Think about that for a second. Your indoor cat sitting safely on a windowsill is still carrying instincts that existed thousands of years before humans ever brought cats into their homes. And by the way, if your cat suddenly stops chirping at birds completely, do not brush it off. We will get to what that can really mean later, because it is something most owners wish they understood sooner. Because this behavior is not just excitement. It is engagement. Have you ever noticed your cat chirps more when you are nearby? Maybe they sit by the window, then glance back at you before making those sounds. Most people think cats are simply reacting to birds. But here is what is actually happening. A 2019 study on domestic cat vocalization patterns found that cats change their sounds depending on social context, including whether trusted humans are present nearby. That means your cat is not only reacting to the bird. They are reacting with you there. And emotionally, that changes everything. Because cats often vocalize more openly when they feel safe. Your presence lowers their guard enough for them to fully express that hunting excitement instead of silently suppressing it. Think about that for a second. Your cat feels secure enough around you to reveal one of their deepest instincts. Not aggression. Not danger. Trust. And here is where it gets even more powerful. Researchers who study feline behavior call this social facilitation. Animals expressing behaviors more confidently around trusted companions. So when your cat chirps beside you at the window, remember this. They are not shutting you out of their instinctive world. They are letting you into it. Have you ever noticed your cat rubbing against your legs right after chirping at birds? Or brushing their face against the window frame while watching outside? Most people think that is just affection or excitement. But here is what is actually happening. Cats have scent glands around their cheeks, forehead, and body. When they rub against you during moments of high stimulation, they are mixing their scent with yours. This is how cats create emotional territory. Not just physical territory. Shared territory. Think about that for a second. Your cat sees that moment at the window as something experienced together. The birds. The sounds. The excitement. And then they mark you into that experience. What makes this even more meaningful is that cats do not scent mark emotionally important moments onto strangers. They do it with beings they consider safe, familiar, and connected to their world. So when your cat chirps at birds, then rubs against you, remember. They are not just sharing space with you. They are making you part of their instinctive life. And hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. Have you ever wondered why cats even make chirping sounds in the first place? Because wild cats do not waste energy making unnecessary noise during hunts. But here is what most people do not realize. Animal cognition research shows that some chirping behaviors may come from kittenhood. Kittens communicate with their mother using soft, repetitive sounds during moments of excitement, learning, and attention. And over time, domestic cats adapted parts of those vocal patterns for humans. Think about that for a second. Your cat may be using a sound connected to early safety bonding and learning while sitting beside you at the window. That is why the sound often feels strangely emotional. Not harsh. Not threatening. Almost conversational. And here is where it becomes something ancient. Your cat is balancing two worlds at once. The predator instinct telling them to hunt. And the bonded domestic instinct telling them they are safe enough to express it beside you. That balance exists because of trust. Have you ever noticed your cat only chatters around certain people? Maybe guests walk into the room and your cat becomes quiet, distant, or guarded. But with you they chirp freely and stay close. Most people think cats are just moody. But here is what is actually happening. Cats do not reveal vulnerable instinctive behaviors equally to everyone. When a cat enters hunting focus, they become emotionally exposed. Their attention narrows. Their body becomes reactive. And in nature, that level of focus can make an animal vulnerable to threats around them. So if your cat still chirps comfortably while you are near, that means they do not see you as a threat to their safety. They trust your presence during one of their most instinct-driven states. Think about that for a second. Out of everyone in the house, you are the person your cat feels safest being fully themselves around. And what makes this even more meaningful is that cats never fake safety. They either feel it or they do not. So when your cat chatters at birds while sitting beside you, quietly relaxed and completely absorbed, that is not random behavior. That is chosen trust. So what are they really trying to tell you when they chirp at birds? Here is what most owners never realize. Your cat is not only expressing hunting instinct. They are revealing emotional security. Remember earlier when I said if your cat suddenly stops chirping, you should not ignore it. This is what I was talking about. Because cats stop expressing instinctive behaviors when something feels wrong. Sometimes it is stress. Sometimes illness. Sometimes emotional discomfort. Behavioral studies on domestic cats reveal that reduced engagement with stimulation can be one of the earliest signs that a cat is struggling physically or emotionally. Think about that for a second. The chirping itself is not the important part. The willingness to engage is. When your cat watches birds chirp softly and stays curious about the world around them, they are showing you that their nervous system feels safe enough to stay open. And when that disappears, your cat may be trying to tell you something long before obvious symptoms appear. This is where most owners get it wrong. They wait. They assume their cat is just calmer now. But your cat is relying on you to notice changes in the behaviors that once made them feel alive, engaged, and connected. So do not ignore it. Because the same instinctive system your cat uses to hunt, play, and chatter is also tied deeply to their emotional well-being. So when your cat chirps or chatters at birds, what are they really trying to say? They are not just reacting to prey. They are expressing instinct, excitement, focus, and trust all at the same time. That is not simple noise. That is your cat allowing you to witness a part of themselves.